She thought she was buying her dream home. Instead, she was walking into a nightmare of betrayal. At the housewarming party, she smiled through the lies. And in the master bedroom, the walls finally told the truth. Subscribe to the channel if you liked the video at the end. You always dreamed of a home. Not just a house with 4 walls and plumbing, but a home the kind with sun-drenched kitchen counters, the smell of fresh coffee in the morning, hardwood floors that creak like a living memory, and a bedroom with space enough for dreams. When Ethan proposed and slid the diamond ring on your finger, your first thought wasn't the wedding or the dress. It was the home. You imagined Sunday brunches in a big open kitchen, lazy evenings on a sectional sofa, framed photos on a mantle, your life together, carefully curated like a Pinterest board brought to life. The house on Sycamore Hill seemed like fate. It was beautiful, tucked in a quiet neighborhood, with ivy curling around the stone archway and a porch swing that creaked like an old song. You fell in love with it the second you walked through the door. "Isn't it perfect?" Ethan said as he twirled you around the empty living room. He was grinning. So were you. Melissa, the real estate agent, smiled in the doorway. She was charming in a high-end, perfect blonde hair, stiletto heels kind of way. She talked fast, winked often, and smelled like sandalwood and cash. You liked her at first. She called you babe when she handed you contracts and made little jokes about you and Ethan being that power couple. You never thought to doubt her. Not then, but something so changed after you moved in. It started with the drawer. One night, you were organizing the knit stands in the master bedroom. Ethan had already left for a business dinner. You opened the drawer on his side and found a gold bracelet. It was delicate, not your style, and definitely not yours. The tag was still attached. At first, you thought he bought it for you. But your birthday wasn't for another 4 months. And Valentine's had passed weeks ago. You slipped the bracelet into your pocket. Then came the phone. Ethan left it charging on the kitchen counter. You weren't snooping. Not really. You were reaching for your water bottle when the screen lit up. Melissa, next time, let's try the shower. The water pressure in that house is insane. The text hit you like cold steel to the spine. You stared at it, blinking, hoping it was a mistake. A weird joke. A coincidence. You opened the thread. Photos, texts, voice notes. All her, all him, and worse. In your house. Your new home. The fireplace you decorated together. The kitchen island you picked out. The bedroom where you kissed the first night you moved in, tangled in boxes and laughter. Melissa had been there too, naked, moaning, whispering promises into your fiancé's ear. While you were away for bridal fittings and work meetings, your chest didn't hurt. Not yet. Numbness settled first. A slow, suffocating fog. You didn't cry. Not even when Ethan came home, kissed your cheek, and said, "You're quiet tonight, babe." You smiled. You asked about his dinner. You said you were excited for the housewarming party next Saturday. But something inside you began to shift. You started planning. Over the next 6 days, you became 2 women, the doting fiancé and the quiet architect of revenge. The first thing you did was check the Wi-Fi cameras. The ones Ethan never bothered setting passwords for. You combed through saved footage, starting from your move-in day. You watched it all, every kiss, every stolen moment between them. They were brazen. She wore your robe once. They used your sheets. They whispered in your house. You made copies. Downloaded clips. Zoomed in and trimmed timestamps. You made a folder on your laptop and labeled it for house tour. Then you bought a small projector. By Saturday, you were ready. The housewarming party was perfect. Friends, co-workers, Ethan's cousins, your sister. Everyone came. You wore a fitted red dress and greeted guests with wine in hand and a smile that made your cheeks ache. Ethan had his arm around your waist all night. You leaned into him, let him kiss your temple, played the role of the blissful bride-to-be. Melissa came late. She wore white. Of course she did. She greeted Ethan with a kiss on the cheek, lingering just a little too long. Her nails grazed his hand when she passed him a drink. You saw it. So did your sister. But your sister didn't know not yet. At 10 p.m., you ran a spoon against a glass. The room quieted. "Okay, everyone," you said, your voice sweet. "Thank you all for coming. Before the night ends, I wanted to give you a proper tour. Most of you haven't seen the upstairs yet." Laughter, murmurs of excitement. Ethan looked puzzled. "Babe, now?" You nodded. "It's important." So you led the group up the stairs, the hallway lights dimmed to soft amber. You stopped at each guest room, home office, bathroom smiling, describing features like a tour guide. People followed, drinks in hand, shoes clicking on hardwood. Then you reached the master bedroom. "Now," you said, your hand on the doorknob, "this is the heart of the home, where love lives." You pushed open the door. The lights were off. The only glow came from the wall of your projector, already rolling. At first, there was static. Then, a time stamp. Tuesday, 2:13 p.m. Ethan. Melissa. Kissing. Hands fumbling. Clothes coming off. Melissa's laugh. Ethan's voice saying, "She won't be back until 6. Gasps rippled through the room like dominoes. Ethan froze. Melissa turned white. The footage kept playing, different timestamps, different angles. Her riding him on the edge of the bed. Him gripping her waist, the same way he did yours. Her calling him baby. Him calling her mine. Some guests looked away. Others couldn't stop watching. You stood at the front, silent, watching them watch your heartbreak projected like a home movie. Ethan moved toward the projector. "Turn it off, this isn't funny." You blocked him. "It's not a joke. YM, please. Don't." You turned to the crowd. This is where I found out I was never the only one. Where I realized that this house, this dream, was built on lies. Melissa tried to slink away. I didn't know she... "Oh, you knew," you said, your voice like ice. You sent him a text from our kitchen. Said the water pressure in this house was perfect for a quickie. Silence. Your sister let out a curse. Ethan's mother looked like she might faint. The projector clicked to the final clip. Melissa laughing in your bathroom mirror, Ethan behind her, both naked, both smug. Then the screen went black. You turned it off. You faced them all. "I won't be marrying him. And I won't be living in this house. I'm selling it." But I wanted everyone to see what kind of man Ethan really is. What kind of woman Melissa is. You stepped aside. "Feel free to finish the wine downstairs. I'm going to bed. Somewhere else." And with that, you walked out. Down the stairs. Past the stunned guests. Past the smell of hors d'oeuvres and the sound of soft jazz still playing from the speakers. Outside, the air was cold and sweet. You got in your car and drove. Not far. Just to your sister's for the night. The next morning, your phone blew up. Messages from friends. Videos from the party already circulating. Ethan called 17 times. You didn't answer once. Melissa posted a story of her dog. By Monday, you had 2 offers on the house. Cash. You sold it before the month was over. Ethan showed up at the notary's office. "You didn't have to do that," he whispered. You looked him in the eye. "Neither did you." "He didn't follow you." Later, when the dust settled, people still talked about it. The housewarming tour. The projector. The betrayal. Some called it savage. Some called it genius. You just called it closure. Because the house may have been a lie, but the way you left it, that was the truth. Please subscribe to the channel if you liked the video. Thanks for watching.